Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Continuation of the previous video. Today we are going to learn about prime factorization. So first of all, how to factor a given number. Already you know in the previous process. Here we learn how to do prime factorization of given number. Suppose any number if I take, say the number 28. How to do the prime factorization of this? It is simply, already you know the process. To first we should do with the minimal prime number. So minimum prime number is 2, then 3, then 5, like this you continue doing. 2 1 4 is 2 7 is 7 cannot be further written, so we'll stop here only. So we should do the process until we get a prime number here. Suppose if you take one more number, say 68. How to do the prime factorization of 68 is 2 3s are 2 4s. Then again from 2 1s are 2 7s. So 17 is a prime number. So we should stop here. So if you observe this 28, I am able to write 2 into 2 into 7. 2 into 2 into 7. So in this case what you write is 2 is there 2 times. So instead of writing 2 into 2, you write 2 square into 7. This is the prime factorization of 28. Same way for 68. 68 I can write as 68 is equal to 2 into 2 into 17. So that is again 2 square into 17. So the prime factorization of 68 is 2 square into 17. Let us take one more number. So if you take one more number, it will be, you can take 18. So for 18 you start with 2 9s are 18, again 3 3s are. We got 3 here, so we should stop. So we should continue the process until we get a prime number here. Okay, so 18 is equal to, I can write as 2 into 3 into 3. It is nothing but I can write as 2 into 3 square. So the prime factorization of 18 is 2 into 3 square. So this is the way how to do the prime factorization of given number. So for this you should learn the prime numbers already, which we have seen in the previous videos. From that, how to do the prime factorization of given any number, whatever the number is given. Suppose if one more number if I take, say 256. 256. So the 256 prime factorization will be, starts from 2, 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, 2 8s are 2 6s are 2 4s are 2 3s are 2 2s are 2 16s are 2 8s are 2 4s are 2 2s are. That means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I can write 256 is equal to 2 power 8. Is a prime factorization of 256. Now let us see one more problem, that is take 156. Prime factorization of 156. So the prime factorization of 156 always start from a least prime number. First 2, next 3, next 5, next 7, like that. Okay. So with 2 if I start here, 2 7s are 14, 2 8s are 16. Again 2 3s are 3 9s. 2 3s are 6, 3 9s. Now it won't go through 2, so take 3. 3 1s are 3 3s. So you know that 13 is a prime number. So whenever you get 13, whenever you get prime number, you should stop the process. Okay. Now I can write 156 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3 into 13. That is nothing but 2 square into 3 In fact, you can write power 1 into 13 power 1. 3 one time is there, so you should write 3 power 1 and 13 power 1. 156 prime factorization is 2 square 3 power 1 into 13 power 1. This is about doing the prime factorization of any given number. Now let us see how to do the LCM and LCF using prime factorization method. Okay. Finding the LCM and LCF by prime factorization. This is the most important one. How to find LCM and LCF of even numbers using prime factorization method. General way, you know how to find the prime factors of two given numbers. Let us see. 12 and 18 are two numbers. How you will find LCM and LCF of 12 and 18? Already you know in the lower classes. 12 and 18 for LCM you will take like this: 2 6 2 9 3 2 3 3. You stop here, right? So if you multiply 2 3 is 6 6 12 36. So LCM of 12 and 18, LCM of 12 comma 18 is 36. And HCF, how you will use it to do? 12 comma 18 HCF will be like this: 12 ones are 12, 6 12 6 ones are 6 twos are 12, 6 is a HCF. So HCF is equal to 6. LCM is 36, HCF is 6. This is the normal method, it's not a prime factorization method. Now let us see same numbers for 12 and 18, how to find the LCM and HCF. You know that LCM 36 and HCF is 6. Okay, now let us do by prime factorization method. So LCM of A comma B. If A comma B are two numbers, the formula for LCM is the product of smallest LCM, greatest greatest power of each prime factor. The product of greatest power of each prime factor is SA. Let us see what it is actually. The product of greatest power of each prime factor. LCM is nothing but the product of greatest power of each prime factor. Same way, what is HCF? HCF of two numbers A comma B is, it is also same, the product of, instead of greatest it will be smallest power of each. In the LCM it is a each prime, but in the HCF you should take it as each common prime. Each common prime factor. Each common prime factors. The first one is LCM of any two numbers is the product of greatest power of each prime factor. If two prime factors are there. So you should take the greatest power. Let us understand. While doing the problem, you will come to understand. Now, LCM of A comma B is nothing but the product of greatest power of each prime factor. Two things you should recognize. One is greatest power for LCM. Opposite, LCM greatest power, HCF smallest power. Okay, LCM is nothing but least common multiple. For least common multiple, you should take greatest power. HCF is nothing but highest common factor, you should take smallest power. For HCF, smallest power, and for LCM, you should take greatest power. Okay. Example is 12 comma 18. How to find the LCM and HCF of 12 comma 18 using prime factorization method. So whatever the numbers are given, first you write the prime factors. So 12 prime factors will be 2 6 2 3 and 18 prime factors will be 2 9 3 3. So I can write 12 is equal to 2 square into 3 and 18 is equal to 2 power 1 into 3 square. If nothing is there, you write 3 power 1. Now LCM. LCM of 12 comma 18. Just once again you observe this. LCM of A comma B is the product of greatest power of each prime factor. So for LCM, what you should consider? You should take each and every prime number available in the both prime factorization. What are the prime numbers we are having? 2, 3 in this. Here also 2, 3. Sometimes it may be different numbers. Or if you take other number, it may come other numbers also. So for this 12 and 18, we are having only 2 and 3. So we should take each prime factor product. Next condition is the greatest among is the 2. So if you compare these two, 2 square and 2 power 1, what is the greatest one? 2 is the greater, so write 2. In this 2, what is the greater? 2 again, 2 square. Again, 2 square is nothing but 4, 3 square is nothing but 9, 36 will be your LCM. Now HCF. HCF of same 12 comma 18 is here the common prime. Common prime is nothing but in this 2 it should be common numbers. Suppose a number if we are having like this 2 square 3 power 1 into 5 square and next 2 3 7 power 1 into 13 power square. If any numbers are like this, what is the common primes in both? What is the common primes? Only 2 is the common prime. So only 2 is the common prime. Remaining all are not common because 3 is there, 3 is not in the second one, 5 is there in the first one, 5 is not there in the second one, 7 is there in the second one, it's not there in the first one. Same way 13 there in the second one but not in the first one. So for this 2 HCF I should consider only 2 because common primes only we should take. After writing the common primes I should take smallest. Smallest of this 2 is 2. So HCF of these two numbers will be only 2 square. Okay. So that is the meaning of common prime. So in this case we are having common both. 2 and 3 are common. So I should write 2 and 3. First thing is common prime and next thing is smallest power. So from 2, from this 2, which is the smallest one? First one is 2 and second one is 1. So I should take smallest 1. And 3 power 1, 3 square, the smallest 1. So is equal to, I can write 6. So 6 will be your HCF. LCM is 36, HCF is 6. So the main thing you should note that first write down the factorization. You know how to write the factorization. After writing the factorization, For LCM, you should consider each and every prime factor, product of each and every prime factor, and take the greatest power from that two. Okay, for LCM, what you should consider? You should consider each prime factor product and greatest power. And for the HCF, you should take only common primes. Only common prime you should take it. Now here you may get one doubt. If there is no common, what to take? If there is no common, suppose the example, if you are having like this. See, if the prime factorization of first number is 2 square, 3 power 5, say 5 square. And the second one is say 7 power 1 into 13 power 2. These two are prime factors of any two numbers, some two numbers. So if you take LCM, you should consider all the prime factors. Okay, but coming to HCF, there is no prime is common, right? You should note this point. If no prime is common in this both, you should consider HCF is equal to 1. Okay, so this write in the note. If there is no common primes in two numbers, then consider HCF is equal to 1. Okay, right. Next, let us do one more problem. Let us consider 50 and 60. Find the LCM and HCF of 50 and 60 using prime factorization method. So first what you should do, 50 prime factorization is starts from 2 5s, then 5 5s. That means I can write 50 is equal to 2 power 1 into 5 square. 60 prime factorization will be 2 30s, 2 15s, now 3 5s. So it should stop here. That is 60 is equal to, I can write as 2 square into 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. Now you will understand easily LCM and HCF. Now let us see what is LCM. LCM of 50 comma 60 will be the each and every prime factor you should write it. So what all are the prime factors? We are having 2, 5 here, 3. Okay. So in this case what you should write? 2 into 3 into 5. Because you should write each prime, each and every prime, whatever available in the prime factorization, you write all the prime numbers, product of all the prime numbers. Now consider from these two, whichever is the greatest. Second condition is greatest power for LCM. So from these two, what is the greatest one? 2. So write 2. Okay. From into 5. If you compare 5, which is the highest one? Highest one is 2. So I should take as 5 square. Now if you multiply 2 into 2, 4, 3, 25 is nothing but 25 for the 100. 300 is your LCM. Coming to HCF, HCF of 50 and 60 is, HCF of 50 and 60 is, I should take now whatever the common in there. First one, 2 is common in both. Yes, so I should take 2. 5 is common in both. Yes, so I should take 5. 3 is not common, so I should not consider 3. For finding HCF, this is the most important one. I should take only common prime. So it is 2 into 5, 10. 10 will be your HCF. So LCM of 50 and 60 is 300, and LCM of 50 and 60 is, HCF is 10. LCM is 300, HCF is 10. Okay. Now let us do same method for 3 numbers. Same method for 3 numbers. So find LCM and HCF of 12, 15, 21. So same way 12 you write prime factorization 2 3s the. So 12 is equal to, I can write 2 square into 3 power 1. 15 3 5s the. So 15 I can write 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. 21 I can write 3 7s. So 21 is equal to 3 power 1 into 7 power 1. Now you can easily understand LCM of 12, 15, 21. Here what you should consider is, from these 3 prime factors you take each and every prime number. So here I am having 2 and 3, here 3 and 5, here 3 and 7. So what all are the prime numbers we are having? First one is 2 into 3. In the second one 3 already taken, so only 5. And in third one 3 already taken, only 7. 2 into 3 into 5 into 7. Now I should take the greatest power. What is the greatest power among these 3? Only 1 is there, so take that is as greatest. For 3 power is 1, so you take power as 1 only. If same powers is there, 3 power 1, 3 power 1, 3 power 1, you should take for LCM also for HCF same power 1. Okay, 3 power 1, 3 power 1, 3 power 1, so I should take 3 power 1 here. 5 only 1 is there, that one. 7 is also only 1 is there, I am writing same thing. So if you multiply 4 into 3 into 5 into 7, 5 3 is a 15, 15 4 is a 60, 67 is a 420 will be your LCM. 420 will be your LCM. Same way HCF. HCF of 12, 15, 21 is, here the main thing is only common prime you should consider. So common prime, it should be common in all these 3. 2 is there in this and second one not there. Okay, it should be common in 3. If it is available in 2 and not in third one, means you should not consider, because we are finding the prime factorization for 3 numbers, so it should common in all the 3 prime factorizations. So 2 I should not consider. If you take 3, 3 is available here, 3 is available here, 3 is available here. It is available in all these 3, so I should take 3. So 5 anyway it's not there, so need not to consider. It's not consider also 7. Should not consider 5 and 7. So only 3 you should take. And what is the least power of this 3? Only 1 is there, so 3 power 1. So 3 will be your HCF. So the LCM of 12, 15, 21 is 420 and HCF is 3. Okay. Now let us see what is the problems given in the previous years. Which we will see is theorem 1.2, which is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. The important one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Sometimes in the exam they will ask state fundamental theorem of arithmetic or write fundamental theorem of arithmetic. For 1 mark they may ask, right? What is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic is, every composite number can be expressed as product of primes. Whatever the composite number, the fundamental theorem of arithmetic states about only composite number. You take any composite number, that composite number can be written as product of prime numbers. So that is what here given. Every composite number can be expressed as product of primes. You take any number, suppose if I take 36, 36 I can write 2 18s, 2 9s, 3 3s. So 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. 36 is a composite number which I am able to write in the form of product of prime numbers. Okay, so till here you understand, every composite number can be expressed as a product of primes. Okay, now this is, and this factorization is unique. That means we can write only one type of factorization. Unique means one and only one. Except means except from the order in which the prime factors occurs. That means we can write only one prime factorization, only the difference is the order may be different. Suppose if I take 36, I started here with 2, but someone may start by 3 also, right? 3 1s are 3 2s are. Again 3 4s are. Again 2 2s are. So in this case 3 into 3 into 2 into 2. If you observe this 2, this is 2 into 2 into 3 into 3, and this is 3 into 3 into 2 into 2. Both are same only, but the only difference is order is different. Because in the multiplication order doesn't matter, so I can write every composite number can be written as product of prime numbers, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factor occurs. Suppose if I take 2310 is a number, I may start from 2, 2 1s are, 2 1s are, 2 5s are, 2 5s are. Again 3, 3 3s are, 3 8s are, 3 5s are. Again by 5, 5 7s are 35, again 5 7s are 35. Now it will go by 7, 7 11s are 77. Now 2310 I can write in as 2 into 3 into 5 into 7 into 11. This is the prime factorization. Sometimes some other students may do like this. First, after doing 2 1s, 1s, 5s, 5s, they may do from 5. They can do also, right? So 5 2s 10, 5 3s 5 1s. Again by 7, 7 3s 21, 7 3s 21. Now it will be by 3, 3 11s. So again this is 2310 is equal to 2 into 5 into 7 into 3 into 11. Both are same, right? The only difference is order is different. Here 2 after 2 they did with 3. Here after 2 they did with 5. But finally all are same, right? 2 3 5 7 11. 2 3 5 7 11. Okay. The only difference is there may be difference in the order, but the prime factorization is unique. Prime factorization is unique. Only difference is the order may be different. Now what is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? Every composite number can be written as product of prime numbers. Every composite number can be written as product of prime numbers, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the prime factors occurs. Okay, this is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay, next, based on this we are having some problems. Suppose in 1.2 in 1.2 we are having some problems. See, the problem is, suppose how will you say, how will you show that 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5 is a composite number? This is the problem number 5. Exercise 1.2, problem 5. How will you show that 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5 is a composite number? So we know that what is a composite number? A composite number is a number which is not a prime. A composite number is a number which is not a prime, and we know every composite number can be written as product of two product of prime numbers. Okay, now let us do this problem. How will you show that this is a composite number? Composite number means the number should have product of any two numbers, not necessarily prime, the product of any two numbers. Let us see now here. Given number 17 into 11 into 2 plus 17 into 11 into 5. There are two numbers, right? This is not in the product of two numbers. If this is the product of two numbers, then we can say directly composite number. But we should convert this into product of any two numbers. If you observe 17, 11, 17, 11. Here also 17, 11, 17, 11. I can take 17 into 11 common. If I take 17 into 11 common, what remains? 2 plus. Here also 17 into 11 is common. So remain is 5. So 17 into 11 into 2 plus 5 is 7. So I can write 17 into 11 into 7 is 77. So the given number which we written in the form of product of two numbers. Okay, here what I can write is the given number can be written as product of two numbers. If any number is a product of two numbers, and that number is definitely a composite number. So therefore given number is composite. Given number is composite, whatever the number is given. So we should write in the product of two number. Don't multiply here. You keep like this only. Don't multiply this number. You keep 17 into 77, because the given number we written is a product of two numbers. Okay, so the given number can be written as product of two numbers. Hence the given number is composite number. Let us do one more problem. Same this, one more problem is, how will you show that 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 is a composite number? Because this is two numbers, right? This is one number and this is one more number. How you will show that is a composite number? This is the, in fact, fourth problem. In fourth there are two problems, so I am doing only first one. Second one you can do. How will you show that 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 is a composite number? Composite number means you write this into product of any two numbers. How you will write? Just given 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. This is a one number and this is a one number which is separated by plus. So if you observe from these two numbers, what is the common I can take? 13 is nothing but 13 into 1, right? So I can take 13 as common from this 13. If I take 13 as common, it remains 7 into 11 here plus 1, right? So 13 into 7 into 11 is 77 plus 1. So 13 into 78. Don't multiply now. Given number can be written as product of two numbers. Okay, so I can write the given number can be written as product of two numbers. So if any number written as product of two numbers, that number is called composite number. Hence given number is composite. Hence given number is composite. Okay, so first you take from this two, 7 and 11 is a 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13. Only 13 is there, So if I take 13 common, what will remain? So that is why I am writing here 13 as 13 into 1. If I take 13 common, 7 into 11 plus 1, 13 same common, 7 into 11 is 77 plus 1, 13 into 78. Now given number we written in the form of product of two numbers, any two numbers. So therefore the given number can be written as product of two numbers, hence given number is composite number. Okay, this is the about fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Next, the last one is from 1.2 exercise. What we are having is next one is the condition for something x power n is x power n. The condition for x power n ends with 0. Sometimes they will ask for 1 mark question or 2 mark question. What is the condition for x power n ends with 0? Okay, x power n ends with 0. The condition is simply the product of, or else you can write the prime factorization of, the prime factorization of x should have 2 and 5 both as factors. The prime factorization of x should have 2 and 5 both as factors. That means if you take C, example of x power n, example 1, if I take 4 power n, whether 4 power n ends with 0 or not, 4 power n ends with 0 or not for any value of n. That means 4 power 1, 4 power 2, 4 power 3, 4 power 4. 4 power 1 is 4. 4 square is 16. Is it ending with 0? No. 4 cube is 64. Is it ending with 0? No. 4 power 4 is again 2 1 6. 256, sorry. 4 power 4 is 256. Is it ending with 0? No. Why it is not ending with 0? Because 4 power n I can write as 2 square power n. 2 square power n. That means 4 I can write only 2 into 2. The prime factorization of 4 is only 2 into 2. It is not having 5. I can write 2 square n, there is nothing but 2 power 2n. So what is the condition for x power n ends with 0? The prime factorization of x should have 2 and 5 both as factors. 4 power n, the 4 factors is only 2 into 2. It is not having 5. If it is having 5, definitely it will end with 0. But it is not having 5, right? So what you should write is the prime factorization of 4 is not having 5. Not having 5. Hence 4 power n does not end with 0. 4 power n does not end with 0. Okay, for ending with 0, the prime factorization of given number should have 2 and 5. Let us take one more problem. Suppose 6 power n is there. 6 power n. What I can write? 6 is equal to, I can write only 2 into 3. right? That means 6 is equal to, I can write 2 power n into 3 power n. Again it is not having 5. The only 2 is there, but 5 is not there. So 6 power n also does not, you can write the prime factorization of 6 is not having 5. Hence 6 power n also does not end with 0. Or else suppose one more thing, one more example if I take 15 power n. Whether 15 power n ends with 0 or not? Let us see. 15 I can write as only 3 into 5. 15 I can write only 3 into 5. That means 15 power n I can write 3 power n into 5 power n. The prime factorization of 15 is having 5 but not 3. So it should have both 2 and 5, then only it will ends with 0, or else it does not ends with 0. Now here I can write the prime factorization of 15 is not having 2. Hence 15 power n does not ends with 0. So only the condition for x power n ends with 0 is the prime factorization of x, whatever there in the numerator, in the base, x should have 2 and 5 both as factors. If only 2 is there, it will not end. If it is only 5 also, it is not ends. It should have both 2 and 5 as factors, then only it will end with 0. What is n here? N is, here you can write, where n is positive integer, where n is any positive integers. Okay, so this is about the condition for x power n ends with 0 where n is any positive integer. This is about exercise 1.2. You can do all the problems of exercise 1.2. If you are having any doubt, you just put me in the comment box.